going on, guys? It's Kayfabe Hills once again. It's Ego Crazy.
It's your boy Damo.
And we're here to talk about the Loki Season 2 finale.
Man.
What the hell?
Crazy.
We got consequences, man. That's what I've been asking for a long time. We got real change in the MCU.
Yeah, we do. We got the God of Stories now, right?
That's what everyone's been saying, the God of Stories. It could be the God of Stories. It could just be Loki, just, Glorious purpose.
Yeah, though, that's what he's doing. He's holding all the branches together, man. He's the center of the multiverse now.
Yeah.
And now he got his throne with all the branches.
I was thinking maybe Loki is like the beginning.
He's the beginning?
Like Alpha. And He Who Remains is the end.
Omega.
Because you peep how at the end, we're going to get into it, man. But the symbol, when he has all the vines, and then it just bursts from the green, and then it goes up into the purple, and into like a branching tree.
Yeah.
I'm just like, that's kind of interesting, man. Because He Who Remains knew all the steps that Loki was going to take to get here.
Yeah, he did.
And through the whole series, they've been stressing Ouroboros. Like, Victor Timely and OB both wrote it. But who wrote it? Back in the 1800s or back in the, the end of time and the TVA, or, this Loki, how he was just a variant. But he ends up being the man at the beginning of time. I think at the beginning of time.
Yeah. Now I'm saying this off the rip. This episode had a lot of consequences. A lot of stuff went on. A lot of good stuff happened. But I didn't really like it that much.
Okay.
I mean, not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad. But, I don't know. It left something to be desired for me. Like, okay, we got the God of Stories Loki, right? That's what Loki's going to be doing. Sylvie, what is Sylvie going to do? We got Mobius kind of...
Those guys, yeah. Go ahead.
But we got Mobius is kind of looking at his other life in the branch timeline. Okay. Like, the TVA is just over with now, huh? So we spent 2 years with the TVA, 2 seasons with them. And it's just like, all right, that was the story.
Well, I think the TVA still exists. But at the end, did you catch how, he said, when he was talking to He Who Remains, he was like, well, I will just catch all of the Kangs. He was like, you'll never stop me. Well, I'll never give up. Maybe the TVA's purpose now with Loki at the helm is to try to find and locate all the Kangs type shit.
That would make sense because remember they brought a file of the Kang and Ant-Man.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, oh yeah, he caused some problems on like 616, but
yeah. What if all of this shit is happening in a huge Ouroboros all at once? As soon as the Spider-Man because we was arguing what happened, what shook up, what started the branching? Was it Sylvie killing He Who Remains? Was it Spider-Man and the spell? Was it fucking
was it the Ant-Man movie?
Yeah, the Ant-Man and the Quantumania rip. Was it that? But we don't know what it was. But maybe this whole thing was happening at once, and then by the end of it, he's like, that happened. There was a disturbance at 616. All of this happened like in a flash or blink of an eye.
You mean like happened in a matter of like days?
Yeah, all this TVA shit, season 1 and 2, happened before Spider-Man.
But that means that Spider-Man would have had to happen a couple days before Mobius saw that file at the end of season 2. And then what about the Ant-Man stuff?
Ant-Man happened before, or it happened as it was happening, I guess, as time was passing. That's a weird thought. I don't know, man.
I'm about to say, like, that's a whole nother theory video that we could do later. But let's get into this review of Loki, man. So, starting off the top of the episode, we get kind of like the little previous on, but it kind of gives you a hint of how the episode is going to go. So, the first thing we see is I have Glorious Purpose, which is also the name of this episode, and season 1, episode 1's episode is also called Glorious Purpose.
Which is a huge Ouroboros.
Again. So we start this episode right out the jump. Loki opens his eyes after figuring out how to time slip, and his first thought is, okay, I'm gonna do everything faster then. So first he's like, all right, Victor, you got to run down there real fast, get it done. Boom. Kept turning to spaghetti. So then he's like, all right, well, what else can I do? And then OB was like, well, we could have made something else. And he's like, well, how long will it take for me to learn how to do what you do? He said, it'll take centuries. So Loki time slipped centuries.
Centuries later, he kept learning, and I love the growth.
Yeah, so then he's like, all right, I have everything ready. Here you go. Run down there as fast as you can. So then Victor goes out there, and then he does it successfully.
And it seems to work. And then, you see the real camaraderie that they've spent over the centuries. You got basically Loki standing next to a variant of Kang, a variant of He Who Remains, hugged up like, yes, we did it.
Yeah.
It feels good, but only for seconds later for it not to fucking work.
To not work. So then Loki checks the screen, and he's like, okay, well, what is going on? Like, this is not working. And then I think Victor Tommy was like, it's a scaling issue. And he's like, what do you mean? And he's like, you can't scale for infinite. It's infinite amount of rest. It's like, there's nothing we can do. So,
which is really, to get back to it, the ultimate undertone of the show is like they're controlling time. They're outside of time, and they're monitoring everyone within time of the sacred timeline. But do we give them free will? Because it's all of this choices. Will Spider-Man do this? Will he do that? But there's ultimate possibilities that cannot be contained. So it's the ultimate. Should I be the one to monitor this, or should I not? Well, we're playing gods. But yeah, get back to it, man.
Yeah, but so then after that, Loki's like, all right, well, I need to go back even further then, like, to really fix this. And then we get to the best scene of the whole show, bro. Because then we had Loki go back to when Sylvie killed He Who Remains.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, well, then I just have to stop her from killing him, and then everything will be cool. So over and over and over, Loki keeps trying to stop Sylvie. Over and over, he keeps failing. And finally, one of the times, he's like, she turns to He Remains like, are you not going to do anything to stop her? Like, what are you doing? Then that's when He Remains picked up his time amulet, flicked up, paused Sylvie, and looked at Loki like, is this the first time we had this conversation? Like, you don't know how to pause time yet? I thought you'd be further along than that. Like, and then he's just
like toying with him,
So then he's like, oh well, you think I was really gonna let her just kill me, bro? Like, you thought I was gonna let that happen? All right, well, you keep trying to stop her, and then you let me know whenever you're ready to talk. Then he flicks Sylvie back up to start moving. Then Loki raised that finger. And he's like, all right, man, look, I need to talk to you about it. And then okay. So then he cuts the bullshit. He take a seat and let's have a conversation. So then that's when he lays it down on, like, look, the TVA is not made to really be up. Like, it's just a fail-safe. The Loom is a fail-safe to delete all other branches except for the sacred timeline. So then Loki's like, okay, well, can I do something else to save the people, like all my friends? And he's like, no. And he's like, okay, well, I have to stop all of you. He's can't do that either.
So basically, he's stuck with a choice. Either you have to stop Sylvie from killing me in this moment.
You got to kill Sylvie.
Yeah, you got to kill Sylvie to stop her. Or either way it goes, there's going to be a sacred timeline and the TVA is going to be destroyed.
Yeah. So it's like, I felt like that was the best He Who Remains as being Jonathan Majors as a character, Kang the Conqueror as a character.
I love it.
He's showing his range here, people. Like, he got Kang and Ant-Man where he had a whole different cadence, a whole different structure about himself. Then we turn around and go into Loki where he's He Who Remains, whole nother character, whole nother energy. Then you got Victor Timely, whole nother character, whole other energy. And then you got the after credit scene from the Ant-Man movies where he was Ramatut, whole nother energy. The cyborg him.
And some type of...
He was a cyborg, Ramatut, and there was another one. And he was just...
Immortus.
Like, he was all different. So it's like, I think, me personally, He Who Remains is my favorite person of Kang. Because he's so calculated where he's just like, bro, like, I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I'm always going to be here. Like, there's nothing you can do to stop that. I don't care what you do. Lokis are destined to lose. Like, that's what you do. You lose. And then I end up being right back here again.
And that's why it's so interesting, man, because it's so many Kangs that we've been introduced to in this short time, whereas Thanos in his introduction, we only seen him at the end of like 2 or 3 major movies, and it was like, oh shit, they're building up Infinity War. I know that storyline. I can't wait.
Yeah.
This is like, oh shit, we know what's coming, and we see him in this one, that one, this one, this Disney Plus, and they're building him up. They're building him up nice, man. But
yeah, where now he's gonna start being like a more prominent person in all these future Marvel films and projects.
But I want Jonathan Majors to continue on, man.
Yeah, he is. But see, this gonna lead me into why I say I didn't like it that much, though. So, remember with Thanos, when Thanos popped on the screen for the first time, face to face with anybody like any other heroes that we know, what happened?
Well, he beat the Hulk ass.
Okay, and what else did he do?
He killed Loki.
And he was dominant the whole movie, right?
He won.
So, that brings me to Kang. All these times we've seen Kang, have we ever seen him truly show his dominance yet?
But I feel like we're not supposed to really see him just because if we just seen him every iteration and he's constantly fucking the heroes up, constantly killing them, we're like, damn, oh my god, he killed Spider-Man. Oh my god, he killed someone else. Kamala's brother or some shit. Or, it'll just be too much and oversaturated. I feel like they got to lull us back to sleep after that Endgame and Infinity War to just really catch us off guard again. They're building us up nice and slow, and Kang is showing his face a little bit here and there. But and he wasn't really bad in Quantumania. He was formidable with the shit that he was doing.
But he lost to
a bunch of ants.
That's what I'm saying. So this Thanos would never lose to fucking Ant-Man and a bunch of ants. That wouldn't happen.
But that wasn't the real Kang. That was a variant of Kang that was cast out.
Okay, but think about that though. How many different variants of Kang is it gonna take before we see a Kang do something?
A Kang Prime.
You know what I'm saying? Like, cause like I want to see a Kang, like like you say, like how Thanos won, right?
Well, that comes in Kang Dynasty.
Okay, but Kang has been like, so we saw Thanos in 2-3 after credit scenes. Like we saw him sitting in the chair, Guardians telling somebody what to do. We saw him get the gauntlet, and then when we finally seen him pull up on Thor's ship, he was about business. Like, so
I understand.
So like that's about 3 times, right? So now we done seen Kang about 3 times. Ant-Man and the 2 Loki seasons, right? Next time I see Kang, he better beat somebody ass. Like,
I feel you.
I can't keep seeing him. Oh, like, yeah, Jonathan Majors is acting very well. I like the variants; they're fun. But I'm not supposed to be like, okay, they're fun. Like, I need to be like, damn, like, how are they gonna stop this?
We really haven't seen the Kang Prime. I'm sticking to that. The Kang we've seen in Quantumania is a Kang that's been cast out by the other Kangs.
Okay.
Which is supposed to be, I guess, the next big bad, but it wasn't, because I think we're going to see the Kang that's got beaten by the ants. We're going to see him make a return, and he's going to be even more powerful.
I hope so.
You see that what do we see glimpses of? Who had like the vision of him destroying planets and shit, and he was just blasting niggas and all type of shit?
That was like Jane or something, right?
Yeah, they seemed like had a vision of something. But there's more to come, man. We got a whole, whether it's Jonathan Majors or he's recast, I have hopes and faith that they're gonna do justice to the character of Kang, because they can't just switch it out of nowhere. They've been building up this storyline with Loki, and Loki becoming the beginning of time, and he who remains the end of time, and Kang and all of he said, if you stop me, or if you stop the Loon, you won't prevent a brutal war that kills us all. That's how we're gonna get Secret Wars and the Fantastic Four and X-Men and everyone, and all the rumored Tobey Maguire and everyone teaming up on Battle World.
Well, like, all that sound cool, but I'm ready to see it. See, I think that it's not so much I didn't like this episode. I'm just a little fatigued of seeing these variants of Kang not be menacing. Like, the He Who Remains variant was the most menacing to me so far, because he shows intelligence, which is something that Kang has to have. So I like that. But we saw Victor Timely What the fuck was that? Like, yeah, like I liked Victor Timely, but what the fuck was that?
It's just a variant, man. It's a version of him that could have been Kang, but he chose differently, and he was in the 1800s. But ultimately, like, Kevin Feige's choosing to do different things, man. That's what I'm saying. We're gonna see Kang Prime soon, but I understand your frustration after Thanos had like only 3 after credit scenes, and then once he showed up in his own movie, he was just tearing shit up. He was a menace.
Was dominant. Like, you was afraid for somebody to pull up on him. I'm not afraid. Like, if I just saw Scott Lang and the Wasp and his daughter just beat Kang with some ants, the next time I see Kang, we'll go call Ant-Man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
I don't think so,
bro. Like, that's how I'm feeling the way they set it up, man. Like,
think about it this way: there's different circumstance. We've seen Kang is implanted in time. Like, this is Marvel, right? Mm-hmm. I could compare it to DC. How the Reverse Flash, no matter what you do and you think you've killed him in that moment, he is like a paradox. Kang is a paradox.
All right, okay.
He's always going to come back. He's always going to be there for some reason. Like He Who Remains. We thought he was dead, but then some shit happened. Now he's back. It's the same shit with Kang. We're seeing him through this movie, Loki, Ant-Man, this and that.
Yeah.
And by the time we do get to see Kang Dynasty, and him interacting with the young Avengers and maybe Hulk and maybe rumored to be returning Robert Downey Jr. By the time we see him interacting with everyone, we'll probably get to see that Avenger that he's killed or rumored to have killed, Scott. We'll probably see that.
All right.
A few of them.
All right, okay.
Killed.
All right, okay. So you brought up the Reverse Flash. So I'm going to mention him then. Whenever we see the Reverse Flash ever in a TV show like the CW, what happened when you saw him? It was a problem.
What you gonna say? He's always dead?
No, that it's a problem. Like, whenever we see Eobard Dawn, it's a problem. Like, he smoked Barry Mama, then he go and he took Flash body. Like, it's a problem when he pop up. It's not just a Crisis on Infinite Earths. Like, he was there. Like, he's like, I'm part of everything bad in your life. I'm here, like, to make it worse. Every time I see Kang, he's just either sitting in a chair, getting beat up by ants, or he's stuttering.
We only
come on,
Victor
man.
Timely is not
Come
Kang, man.
on, man.
Victor Timely really is supposed to be the one who paves the way for all the Stark technology and all of this.
Okay, all that good and well,
but they did some other shit with him.
Come on, man. Ain't you sick of seeing this? Like, bro, like, I want you to
I feel you, but the that's same way not Kang.
The same way we're critical of DC, we gotta be critical of Marvel right now. Like,
I'm critical of Marvel.
Like, okay, well, be a critic for real. Like, Kane's a big bad. We've seen him 3 times. Each 3 appearance hasn't been good.
But those
you see Reverse Flash, it's serious. You see Thanos, it's serious. When we saw Darkseid in the Justice League Snyder Cut, he looked like he was a problem. Okay, like it wasn't no it wasn't no stuttering Darkseid. It was he looked at them like, y'all don't want me to come through that hole.
How many times can Kang be a menace? He can only be a menace for real for one good movie.
Why? Why can't he be a real problem?
How much do you... Because they're introducing him long-windedly. They have a lot of time to introduce him. So they gave him Ant-Man. They gave him 2 seasons of Loki.
Yep.
And what else was this nigga in? He was in something else.
Those are the only times we've seen him so far. Twice on Disney Plus and one movie.
Okay.
So it's like, for me, like, that's the problem, bro. Like, if I'm not seeing a reason to be scared of this guy, how can I believe when he pop on the screen that he could take anybody?
Because he controls time. We haven't seen it yet. They're building him up like Voldemort, dude.
Like Voldemort?
They're building him up like Negan.
Okay, but when you saw Negan on the screen,
they're
bro,
speaking his name.
When you saw, who was you just referenced? You referenced Negan, and who was you just referenced?
And Voldemort.
What happened when Voldemort got on that screen, bro?
Killing. So they're building him up.
You telling me they couldn't have Kane kill Hank Pym?
They probably need him in the future.
You telling me he couldn't smoke Scott Lang or the Wasp? He couldn't smoke Hank Pym's wife? Like, he couldn't.
You just want somebody dead. You're bloodthirsty.
I'm not bloodthirsty. I just want the threat to be present. The threat of him being in time is cool, but what does that mean if ain't nothing happening? He's threatening this bloody multiversal war. He's threatening all these things. We haven't even seen him really beat anyone. So why should we worry about all these variants if nobody looks threatening? All the variants we've seen, out of all the variants that he claims he has, which one's threatening so far?
We haven't seen them yet.
Oh my goodness. We saw 3 of them.
Look, man.
So are you telling me by variant? So we saying by variant 10 he's gonna be dangerous?
No. The next time we see him, he's gonna be a threat.
You think so?
The next time we see Kang.
Okay.
They were just waiting until November 29th till he goes on trial and is acquitted.
Okay.
All the evidence is there.
Okay.
We're waiting.
So that's why I thought this episode and why I didn't really like the direction that we're going, because you got that going on, but let's get to the actual end where Loki becomes the god of stories. Loki gets all the branches after he done talked to Kang, and he went to go talk to Mobius and got some advice like, hey, like, so what should I do? And Mobius like, hey, bro, like, he told a story about him and Renslayer when they went on a mission and how he was supposed to kill this little boy, or prune this little boy, who was going to grow up and kill 5,000 people. And he hesitated. And he said Renslayer didn't hesitate. And that's how she became a judge. And that's why he's doing what he's doing, because he couldn't be in the field because he hesitated. So Loki's like, okay, well, I'm not going to hesitate. So then he shakes Mobius' hand. Then he goes to go talk to Sylvie one more time and tell her, like, hey, I'm about to do something real quick. Like, I'm about to really be gone. Like, I'm not taking nobody's free will away, but I can't let he who remains be at the end. I just can't let him win. So then he goes full Loki, full magic Loki into the temporal loom area. And as it blows up, he starts grabbing all the strands of all the branches and enchanting them with green magic. Mm-hmm. Then after he gets to the end, he enchants enough to open up where it looks like where the Citadel is, but it looked like the Citadel was destroyed or it wasn't there anymore. It was just a chair. So Loki takes all the branches, sits in the chair, brings them all together, and it forms like a tree of life looking thing. So now Loki is at the center of the multiverse. So what do you think that's going to entail for the future with him sitting at the center of the multiverse?
Well, man, I don't know exactly where they're going to bring him in at. I've seen several reports talking about Tom Hiddleston saying this is the end to a nice legendary 14-year career and blah, blah, or not career, but saga. Like, we're going to see Loki again.
Oh, hopefully. For sure. Oh, for sure. We're going to see Tom Hiddleston again. And he's going to come on. Popular. Really popular.
In the movie, he said to Thor, the sun will shine on us again one day, brother. And I want to see, that's all I want to see. But whether he comes back in Thor 5 or whatever.
But the sun is technically shining now because he's in control of all that. So maybe Loki might, because remember, he's able to time slip too. So Loki just time slips to different places now and like when he's needed, or like what do you think they're going to do with the time slipping ability too?
I don't know if he can do that, man. If he's holding the branches and he's giving them life.
He can duplicate himself, remember. This is Loki.
He can probably. I mean, if he's the god of stories, if he can just not create, but just
if he can just,
I guess basically create branches. I don't know.
No, I'm saying like say if something's going on in a branch with Thor, the Thor that we know is in, can he, since the branch is already enchanted with his magic, can he just enchant or just multiply himself into the branch that is needed? Since he's already holding all the strands and it's already enchanted with him, can he do that?
He could just project himself in there like a holograph or something. Yeah. Like, yeah, brother, I'm really, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I'm the god of stories now, but I'm here to help you or something like that. Yeah, like maybe
to guide you of what you need to do or to help you prevent something, because he can do that now.
Maybe, man. I don't want him to be too overpowered. I want him to be, because he's outside of time.
Why not, man?
Technically, he's outside of everything tangible on the earth.
He might be the reason why they beat Kang, because he's already ran into 2 variants of him.
That's what I really want to see. In the Kang dynasty, I want to see something happen to where they have to consult Loki. And then everyone's like, maybe something happens to where they lose or some shit. And then they have to reap this powerful source that they don't know what it is, and it ends up being Loki, and they're like, oh shit. And they all have this reunion with them, and it's like Loki and Thor and shit like that, and it's just epicness, and I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, here's hoping that's how it goes after this, right? because we don't know. There's no after credit scene for the last episode. There's no after credit, nothing.
That's really what left everyone sour. But what can you show after that? To really
show something. Because I think the night that it released, the same night as the Marvels, they show Beast in there. Why not give us a little him looking,
a little double whammy?
You know what I'm saying? Like a little him looking through the branches, and he goes to the Fox branch and he sees something little. Like it ain't like I ain't saying have Deadpool pop up or Wolverine pop up or nothing crazy like that, but something subtle. Like he's looking through and he sees the X Mansion, and you see Thor or somebody standing at the X Mansion real quick, or Kane standing at the X Mansion, like the actual big boss Kane that you keep saying is going to come. Why not see him somewhere to make him be like, okay, well maybe this is what I'm going to have to project myself to.
I'll mess with that.
You know what I'm saying? Like they could have did something to give us a glimpse of what's coming next with the real Kane that's coming.
Yeah, man. But sometimes less is more, and I guess that time the director said we'll leave it up to your guys' imagination, but we need some months to figure out and write the next part of the chapters.
Hey, but look, I just feel like that something big has to happen very soon to keep us entertained. But
or we're gonna all flock to DC.
But DC. Oh, speaking of that, Superman Legacy coming out a couple years. We will be there to cover that too. We cover all things Marvel, DC, and WWE, AEW, all things on this channel right here. So keep it locked if you want to catch some more content from us, and comment and let us know what else you want us to see.
Yeah, man. Let us know. Stay in tune.
See you next week.